Commissioners, would all those who are willing and able please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision, neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for thou art the source of all authority, and may we use our directives for the common good and for thy honor and glory. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young.
Here.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Present.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Here. Okay, this brings us to our first public comment portion. We do have a presentation today by Corey Vojak. Corey, did you want to jump right in on that?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
Today I wanted to speak briefly on an initiative that our Ohio Means Jobs Lake County team has been working on and improving. It would be the Ohio Means Jobs Lake County Employer Spotlight Series. The new and improved Ohio Means Jobs Lake County Employer Spotlight Series is a remarkably unique service, incomparable to any other assistance provided to local employers throughout the state of Ohio. Aside from the business services used to help meet occupational needs like free recruiting, screening, and staffing services, our new video series, On Site with OMJ, is an innovative approach to showcasing local businesses, all the while incorporating more social media and technology practices to our outreach and advertising efforts. The idea is to highlight Lake County businesses in a short 3 to 4 minute video clip, interview a selected representative, and give viewers an inside look at the intricate role that the business plays within the workforce community. Every prospective employer is selected in advance by the local Ohio Means Jobs Lake County Business Services team, sometimes coordinating with the theme, such as Ohio's Manufacturing Month in November now, or National Apprenticeship Week, or Hire a Veteran Month, both celebrated in November. After the employer is selected and agrees to participate, they receive a script of questions that will cover information about the filming process and a general consent that permits us to interview, film, photograph, and make use of such productions on all forms of electronic and internet media. All information collected during the filming is solely used to educate the public with vital information and awareness about the business, open positions, and the company's role in the local workforce community. Afterward, the video is shared publicly on our locally maintained forums, such as the Ohio Means Jobs Lake County website, and our Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn social media accounts. To date, we have produced 7 video shorts, with several more lined up for the remainder of the year. If you are aware of any businesses that might be interested in participating in our employer spotlight, please don't hesitate to reach out to a member of our Ohio Means Jobs Business Services team. And with that, I think we have the latest video that we have published, and then give a little scoop on it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hey, let her roll.
Good afternoon, Lake County. I'm Matt Meyer with Ohio Means Jobs Lake County. And on behalf of the entire team, we'd like to welcome you to our new and improved Employer Spotlight video series called On Site with Ohio Means Jobs. First, let me say that after a lengthy hiatus, we are thrilled to be back out in the community, visiting employers, going to job fairs and different events, but particularly hosting these new Employer Spotlights. So today, we are on site with our friends at Adobe Systems here in Concord, Ohio. Now founded in 1914, headquartered right here in the state of Ohio, Adobe Systems is a leader in developing dictation software. Now over 100 years ago, John Dolby formed a partnership with the one and only Thomas Edison to make the earliest dictation inventions available to the business community. Today, the Dolby companies together have built an integrated solution for dictation, transcription, speech recognition, and computer-assisted coding. With that, I'd like to introduce to you Tiffany Smith, Talent Acquisition with Adobe Systems, to explain more about the company. Tiffany, a pleasure.
Likewise.
And so what are the advantages of working here at Adobe Systems?
Well, the biggest advantage, I think, is that you get to go to work with your friends and family every day. We're a small, knit group of folks here. We've only got about 50 employees altogether. So every day, you get to see everyone's face when we're in the office. But we get to talk with our friends every day.
Now, what types of positions are currently available?
Right now, we do have support specialist positions that we're actively looking for, but we look for all types of roles in development, like general IT, or anything else you can think of that business might need to work with.
And what would you consider to be the best types of candidates to apply for these jobs?
Absolutely. So folks with a high technical aptitude and then great customer service or people skills are the two that would make the star candidate for us.
Okay, very good. Now, tell us more about where you're located here and some information about any contact info or how someone can best apply for one of these positions.
Absolutely. So we are located right on Auburn Road near Quail Hollow Golf Course. And you can apply or get more information at techjobs@dolby.com.
Wonderful. Well, Tiffany, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, to explain to our viewers more information about Adobe Systems, but also to learn about the company and your business needs. And thank you for joining us as Ohio Means Jobs looks to highlight more local companies here within Lake County and their contributions to the workforce community. Now, don't forget, this video series and other workforce resources you can find by following us on Ohio Means Jobs Lake County's Facebook and LinkedIn websites. Now, we appreciate your viewership, so make sure you hit that like button and stay tuned as we spotlight more Lake County employers in another segment of On-Site with Ohio Means Jobs.
All right. Well, thank you for that, and we look forward to continuing to producing these videos for everyone.
Very good. Gentlemen, anything for Corey?
Mr. President,
Sir.
I just want to commend our new Director of Workforce Development, Corey Vojak, for taking the reins so quickly and offering this new service to local businesses, because highlighting these businesses is one of the critical ways that we connect jobs with job seekers. We need to know as a community the great businesses that have been operating in Lake County, are operating in Lake County today, so that folks with the qualifications who are passionate about these areas are aware the opportunity is here. So I want to thank Corey for taking this aggressive posture and making sure that we're not just doing what we've always done, we're constantly innovating.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. And to my knowledge, no other OMJ center in the state does this kind of grassroots movement where they push and target, looking for local employers to spotlight on that. So this is a truly unique service for Lake County and any other Ohio Means Job Center here in the state.
Excellent, excellent. Say, just a thought though that comes to mind. You might want to get with the sheriff and his team. They're always in the market for good quality dispatchers, good quality corrections officers. That government works. Something you shouldn't turn your nose up to. Lake County is a good, stable place to work. So
Absolutely.
At least I hope that's how the crew feels. So.
Absolutely. We look forward to working with anyone that would be willing to do one of these spotlights with us. So
Excellent.
Looking forward to the opportunity.
Excellent. Commissioner Young, anything you want to answer?
Yeah, thank you. How are firstly, great job. Glad you're all over this. It's so important. Let people know what we have to offer here in Lake County for careers, for a future. It's exciting. How do you choose which companies to spotlight? Or is it just whoever's interested enough to come forward, or do you reach out to these companies, or how does that work?
Right, it's a combination of both. Some employers we reach out to specifically. some that we come across in inviting to some of our recruitment and job fairs. And when we meet them and they're a new contact, we bring this up to them. It's like, hey, we haven't worked with you before. This might be a great opportunity to, expand the outreach of your business and the notoriety of it, at least as far as the public awareness and what kind of positions they might offer.
When people go onto your website, they go onto your website and they can find this information, right?
Yes, they can find this and are on our social media websites on Facebook, LinkedIn.
How are they categorized? I mean, if someone's looking for an IT job, if they're a programmer, for instance, do they look under programmer? And then whatever companies hire programmers would turn up, and the spotlight, if they have one, would be there attached to the company profile?
Sure. So on the OhioMeansJobs.com job search website, absolutely. You can break down which occupational field you're interested in and the available positions that are in the area. And that's also a feature that our team locally puts on the Ohio Means Jobs state-run website. And so you can find all these opportunities locally as well.
I mean, are the spotlights specifically, are the spotlights then attached to that?
No, those are...
That's not part of it, is it?
We post those to our social media accounts. And so...
So if they found a job at Dolby, for instance, they could then look at your website where you display the spotlights, and they could find Dolby there and watch the spotlight and learn more about the company.
Oh, absolutely. And our team, if they reach out to our team, we are very responsive in answering any questions that they might have and how to contact them or how we can help them with other career services.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on with our regular portion. Mr. Music?
Still in public comment, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
John Music, 45 Coventry Drive, Painesville Township. I have a quick question for Suzanne before, I thought I'd ask it now. As we all know, inflation is hitting everybody hard. I was listening this morning, they're talking about natural gas prices should go high, and then Powell from the Federal Reserve Bank's talking that this inflation probably will go through a greater part of 2022. And I don't know if anybody's gone shopping or tried to find something nowadays. Good luck. I tried to get a 2022 calendar, and I had to go all over to find. I buy a specific one, but anyhow, the stores I usually get them, no one has anything, let alone the food. But has Lake County seen any rise in people signing up for benefits here in Lake County? Say within the last couple months with inflation hitting it as it is?
I think since the beginning of the pandemic, we have seen a rise in applications for public assistance, and that has continued. Even during the last few months, we are seeing an increase in our applications for food assistance as well as Medicaid, medical benefits for individuals in the community.
Okay, so it's probably a combination of, the pandemic and inflation, possibly. It could be a combination of two as we go on.
I think it could be a combination.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Massey? Thank you, sir.
Good morning, I'm Brian Massey, 8196 Rainbow Drive. I have two subjects to talk to the commissioners about today, but since we are limited in the first session, I'll defer the question, was there voter fraud in Lake County, to the second public session. I'd like to ask the question. I sent an email to Mr. Hackman regarding the Visitors Bureau and the 501c6 issue that I mentioned. I'm just wondering if there's been anything done on that.
Please, sir.
May I?
Yes.
Mr. Massey, I did receive your email, and I guess it's important to point out, first of all, we did confirm they have 501c6 status with the IRS. Our office cannot confer such status, though, to that nonprofit. We can't give it, nor can we take it away. So right now, that's an IRS issue if they were to withdraw that status.
Thank you. We'll have some further discussion on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Hackman. Okay, anyone else wishing to address the board? Thank you, sir. Treasurer Zern, welcome, sir.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President and Commissioner Young and Plesnick. I just wanted to thank the commissioners for the support on rolling out the Lake County Treasurer's town hall meetings. After I took office, I received multiple phone calls and emails asking for town hall meetings to discuss the role of the Treasurer's office and anything that would benefit the public to better serve the public. So with working with the Auditor's Office, we are starting the first town hall meetings. The first one's going to be in Willowick at the end of October, and we are going to be talking about the Treasurer's Office responsibilities. Also, there's various programs we're going to spotlight that will benefit the seniors, owner-occupants, disabled veterans, and spouses of deceased police officers killed in the line of duty to help spread the information on that. And also, one of the big issues that I have seen in the Treasurer's Office over the last month has been with all the refinancing and sale and people purchasing houses, just to properly notify the Treasurer's Office so we get the tax bill out accordingly, so they do not have to call and try to track that down. So I'm looking forward to the town hall meetings, and I just wanted to thank the commissioners for all their support on this. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Commissioner Young, Commissioner Plechnik, anything you want to add?
Mr. President, it can't be said enough how grateful we are to Treasurer Mike Zern for hitting the ground running. It seems that there's nothing but good news from the Treasurer's Office as you work hard with your staff to serve the public in every way and better. I have a hard time sufficiently praising the work that Treasurer Zern is doing, because it's remarkable to have a community partner who's that focused on not just doing the job right, but making sure that the public has full access to everything that the Treasurer's Office and the county does. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Bless you, sir.
Good job.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, continuing. Anyone else wishing to address the board at this time? Okay, moving on with our agenda. Madam Clerk, item 1, please.
In the Engineer's Office, resolution authorizing the Lake County Engineer to enter into a local public agent agreement with the Director of Transportation of the State of Ohio for the LAK Newell Street County Road 335 resurfacing project, PID number 112485, Federal Aid number FAN E200-681, LCE project number 2020-011.
Move for consideration.
Second.
Sure, consideration. You're forgetting your bag. You're not a house rep here. I'm assuming that's okay. Discussion, and Jim, you want to give us a little flavor on that?
Ron is expanding his vocabulary.
I see. I just needed to look at legal to make sure that would...
We could all work on that.
I'm trying.
Well, just be careful. It could be too copious for our diminutive comprehension. So.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Anyways, this is a joint project between the county and the city of Paynesville, Newell Street, and it is subject to, or it is being funded by federal funds coming out of NOACA, and this is the standard ODOT agreement that we must sign in order to get money. This project will be bid in the coming year.
Gotcha. And we're at the 80% reimbursement mark. That's always encouraging. 20 cents on the dollar here is a good thing, and having more money coming back to Lake County than leaving is always a good thing. Excellent. Anything further, gentlemen? Jim, thank you so much. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Utilities Department, resolution transferring and increasing appropriations in Lake County Department of Utilities Water Operating Fund.
Move to approve.
Second, discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing advertising for bids for cold water meters for the Lake County Department of Utilities, bid opening October 27, 2021.
Move for consideration.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing advertising for bids for the operation, monitoring, and maintenance of the Lake County Solid Waste Facilities landfill gas collection and control system, bid opening November 3rd, 2021.
Move for approval?
Second.
Discussion? Gary, you want to give a little background on that?
Sure, Commissioner. Again, this is in the landfill or solid waste department, going out for public bid. This is not necessarily a construction contract. We're going out for services, support, people that can help us with maintenance and repair of the gas collection system. This will be a multi-year contract if it's approved, and basically it's as needed on-call services for the landfill.
And just by way of background, the gases are the natural consequence of decaying materials. That's also the odor control that we've been putting so much effort into.
That's correct. That's part of the process. We have to manage that and keep that in compliance, and that's part of what we're bidding for.
And some of those stacks we see with the flares, that's where they're burning off those gases.
Yes, we call that flaring the gas, and that's part of the normal operations of the landfill.
Very good. Anything further? Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, roll call please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations and transferring cash within Lake County Department of Utilities Water Operating Fund and Project Fund 595, Tall Tree Booster Station Improvement Project 414W.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving plan specifications and estimates of cost in the amount of $1,602,300 for GLK Water Reclamation Facility and VFD Replacement Project Number 440S, and advertising for bids for the same, bid opening November 3rd, 2021.
Move for approval?
Second.
Discussion? Gary, that's a high dollar item. You want to give a little background on that one?
Sure, I'll try to translate the words into something we can understand. This is in the wastewater department out at Mentor GLK wastewater plant. As Commissioner said, this is about a $1.6 million capital project, construction project. Again, another example of us investing in our treatment facilities. In general terms, it's an electrical improvement. We're upgrading some of the components that control the pumping system at the treatment plant.
And that VFD, that's the variable frequency drive. That's what starts and stops the motors.
Yes, it modulates the speed of the pump motor, and those are over 20 years old, so we're replacing those pretty proactively.
So in addition to efficiency of operation, we're going to have an increase in efficiency and energy usage, overall operation.
Yeah, the spin-off result will also be less electrical costs and less expenses for the facility.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Anything further?
Are you having any, Mr. President,
Oh,
are
please.
you having any difficulty finding all the components you need and the equipment, et cetera, because of some of the shortages we see?
Well, this was prior to the pandemic. The short answer is yes. These are pretty specialty boxes or components, and there's just a shortage of those components in the industry, regardless of the pandemic. They're no longer making those parts, this particular model, so again, that's why we proactively plan ahead to get to the newer system, the latest and greatest version, because we can't find parts when something breaks. We can find limited ones, but we don't want to get to a point where the machine breaks and we have nothing to repair it with. Then that would impact the treatment system.
Sure. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Very good. Madam Clerk, roll call please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving final estimate number 5, release of retainage in the amount of $7,134.47 with Fabrizi Trucking and Paving Company Incorporated, and accepting a 3-year maintenance bond in the amount of $16,032.07 for 7th Street Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Project 416S for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution accepting a 3-year maintenance bond in the amount of $13,528.52 for sanitary sewers and $13,279.30 for water lines for Hidden Village Phase 3 subdivision in Perry Village, job numbers 20-06 and 20-05.
Move for consideration.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution certifying unpaid water and sewer sums and administrative charges to the Lake County Auditor.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Commissioner's Office, resolution accepting a grant and authorizing execution of a 2020 Coronavirus Emergency Supplement Funding Program grant, subgrant number 2020 CEOTH 2361 in the amount of $146,557.88 between the Lake County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Lake County Sheriff's Office and the Office of Criminal Justice Services.
Move to approve.
Second.
And discussion, just a little bit of background there. It's a state reimbursement grant for the jail medical and COVID-related expenses. And that's just kind of the plain English version of that. So if there's nothing further, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Finance Department, resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $903,571.19.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $418,264.01.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations for various general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution transferring cash and appropriations within various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Very good. Moving on to departmental reports. Utilities. Gary, I understand you have a presentation for us.
Thank you. I wouldn't go as far as the presentation, but I do have two topics. The first one's a couple slides, and the second one we'll get back to discussion about procurement of materials that came up earlier. So the first slide, I think, is part of the agenda there. The topic is the update on the Volkswagen diesel grant that the Commissioner's Office helped us procure in utilities. Just provide an update that we have received some of those equipment. Give you a quick picture of last week we received this piece of equipment. I won't get into a lot of detail, but it's a 400,000 gallon transport vehicle that we use in wastewater, so we appreciate the department's help in that. But that was funded through the Volkswagen grant that we initiated last year. This is about a $200,000 piece of equipment sitting in front of you. I'm going to run through the other ones quickly that we've already received. This is again another piece of equipment that we use every day in wastewater to clean out the sewers and maintain the sewers. You're looking at probably almost $500,000 in that picture. So we were certainly happy that these were funded to a great extent through that grant, because these are big ticket items. And then the last item is one of the new dump trucks that we received a few months back. Obviously a smaller item, but again, we use these in water and wastewater on a regular basis. So all told, we've spent about $700,000. We still have 3 other pieces of equipment that are on order. We have some estimated delivery dates, but these have yet to be delivered. But we've received, in summary, 3 of the 6 items that are funded through the grant. So that completes kind of item 1, unless there's questions before I move on to the second topic.
Please continue, sir.
Second topic, going back to procurement, we received notice last week in the wastewater department that some of the chemical suppliers are having some constrictions also in supplying chemicals. Not that they can't get us chemicals, they just can't get us chemicals in the fashion that they did before. Specifically, we used to be able to call and order chemicals and they would have the chemicals to the plant within 48 hours. Now they're asking us to plan ahead and estimate what our chemicals needs may be 10 weeks out as opposed to 2 days out. So I guess the good news is we're going to become better planners and better estimators and better thinking ahead folks, but we went from 2 days to 10 weeks in terms of getting chemicals delivered. There will be no impacts to the treatment, it's just we've got to plan further ahead than we typically would. That completes my report.
Thank you. I would like to I'll just make an observation. You know, I see you've got photographs of new vehicles, but I do want to make a comment on how clean the new and the old vehicles are, how clean the workspace area is, the level of professionalism that the utilities demonstrates is amazing. The confidence, and I know optics means a great deal, but you have trucks that are in all kinds of muck. You have equipment, excavating, hauling, everything that's clean, maintained. You know, that's something that instills confidence in the public, be it obvious or subtle. You know, how can you trust your drinking water when the gear is this? That's, again, I give praise to the effort that the utilities department makes and the pride. You know, that you point out that's some very expensive equipment, and you know, private contractors, the smart ones, take care of their equipment. The utilities, you run a professional operation, and I think it's fair to say that even in these little glimpses, we got to see the background, the other vehicles. I think that's worth pointing out, and again saying thank you for all the work you do and how well maintained our system is, and how well the support equipment for that system is also maintained. And that's high praise for your leadership and for your field crews. So I want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you all for the kind words, and again, we would put the praise on the crew themselves that, you know, are that particular about how they operate the things, and the people that run those departments throughout the 9 facilities that we operate.
Indeed.
Mr. President, I mean, I would just follow on in saying I'm once again impressed by how our staff always looks to external funding whenever possible, applying for grants to lower the burden on the taxpayer. I know that utilities effectively runs on a user fee. We all pay for the water that we use, but grants like these and equipment purchases like these lower that burden. So I want to thank our Department of Utilities, Mr. Fedak, Mr. Roethlisberger, for continuing to reach out for as much external funding as possible to lower the burden on the taxpayer.
Very good. Chris Young, anything, sir?
Yeah, I appreciate. I just want to say I appreciate the way you've adapted to the current situation. You know, parts are in short supply, equipment, etc., and you've made alternative plans, and you're adapting, you're becoming better planners. So, not that you really needed to be. I'm sure you were doing a fine job, but given the situation, situations changed, and you adapted, you changed. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Very good. If there's nothing further, thank you, sir. Moving on to Job and Family Services. Suzanne.
Good morning. I wanted to follow up on the video that we saw earlier from Corey Wojciak about Ohio Means Job, Lake County. And I wanted just to take a few minutes to highlight the work of our OMJ Center, our Ohio Means Job Center, located right in the Job and Family Services building across the street. I think it's important to remind members of the public that if there are job seekers that need some job assistance, to please come to our OMJ Center. We have employment counselors ready and waiting to serve the public with job search assistance, resume and cover letter assistance, interviewing assistance. We have tutorials for members of the public who may need to brush up on their computer skills. For those that meet certain criteria, there are training dollars available for in-demand careers. And some of those in-demand careers include truck driving, LPNs, IT positions, manufacturing positions. And so those services are available Monday through Friday. Anyone could just walk into our job center and they'll be greeted by someone who could assist them in taking the next steps to find employment. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Anything for Suzanne? Thank you all. Thank you. Okay, moving on to our county administrator. Jason Boyd is currently down representing Lake County in the bellwether trial for the opioid litigation relative to the pharmaceuticals. So Jason is doing his job in the federal court right now. So we don't have a county administrator's report per se. And with that, moving on to Madam Clerk.
Yes, I wanted to mention that county offices will be closed on Monday, October 11th, in observance of Columbus Day. And also, I wanted to mention, next week, our commissioners' meeting is moved to Tuesday, October 12th at 10 a.m. There will not be a meeting on Thursday. So I did want to mention that. Tuesday, right here, 10 a.m.
Excellent. Thank you, ma'am. Anything for our clerk? Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to legal. Sir?
No reports, Commissioner.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Okay, old business. Do we have any old business to come before the board? Okay, if I could just give a quick little old business update. Our administrator and the sheriff's department, they did send the contracts back to our friends at Painesville Township. Painesville Township trustees were just trying to cut through any misunderstandings that the contracts for policing, which is different than the statutory requirements that the sheriff has for maintaining the peace. Those contracts are harmonized between townships, so the deal is the deal. We did clarify on the COPS grant that we need to have an acceptance or rejection by December 1st. The reason behind that is we do have budgeting and fund allocation needs that need to be locked down. So that was made clear to both Painesville Township and to Concord Township. And it's my understanding that at this point Leroy has declined to proceed forward with accepting the COPS grant. Perry Township, however, has accepted it, and I believe the Sheriff's Department is already making a number of discoveries in that community. They've been taking firearms and other things off the streets, so it's already providing a value back. Let's see, we're waiting back to hear back from our trustee friends. We're also, there's been discussion about using the ARPA money with the townships, which is different than it would be with the county. We're waiting on guidance. Anything we do at the county level would have to be for a countywide benefit. So if we were to work with our sheriff on adding staff, it would be a countywide benefit, not specific, although it would provide a benefit to the townships. It would not be specific to the townships. So we're just working on getting that, and I think that pretty much takes care of the old business that I have. Gentlemen, have you thought of anything else or want to add to this at all?
Mr. President?
Sir.
I just want to share that in our ongoing review of our utilities department, water and sewer fees, we did have the opportunity to consult with our county prosecutor's office, and they confirmed that per the Ohio Revised Code, we do have the authority to grant a senior discount. I'll let Mr. Hackman correct me if I'm wrong, but what was shared is that we do have to have some measure of means testing, although there is flexibility there. You can use the homestead exemption or quote-unquote low to moderate income as the guidelines. But with that proviso that there has to be some form of means testing, we do have the authority to grant a senior discount, and I do believe senior is defined as 65 or older in this particular section of the Ohio Revised Code. So we're continuing to work with our Department of Utilities to try to provide some relief to our seniors.
Very good, thank you. Okay, moving on to new business. Do we have any new business to come before the board? None being heard, very good. And moving on to our second public comment portion, I believe we have a cliffhanger here. Mr. Massey.
We could really.
Yeah, hopefully you folks have figured out that I don't have to say bye-bye. Jim's an old veteran at this. He knows how to slide out of a meeting. And now we have Suzanne on point. See how she's moved up in that order now? Little moment of levity, Mr. Massey. Thank you for that indulgence.
Again, Brian Massey, 8196 Rainbow Drive. I've had the pleasure of talking before the commissioners on a variety of topics, but I dare say that what I'm about to tell you is probably, in my opinion, the most important thing that I've ever said in front of the commissioners. I asked for copies to be made to the commissioners and to Mr. Hackman on what I'm about to read, and with Commissioner Hamercheck's approval, I'll read the statement.
Yes, please proceed, sir.
The topic is, was there election fraud in Lake County? In our opinion, at the very foundation of our constitutional republic is the ability of all citizens to vote for candidates and issues in free and fair elections. It is therefore extremely important that the registered voters in Lake County have the confidence in our Board of Election officials and our election process. What we are about to reveal deals only with Lake County, and we cannot comment on what has transpired in any other state or county since we were not even remotely involved. Why are we coming forward at this time? To sit back and not inform Lake County citizens of what we know would be a betrayal of Lobbyists for Citizens' mission statement. The truth must always be told. We are continuing to hear that there was definite election fraud in Ohio, and the latest information is that there were 10,834 votes switched in Lake County, switched from then President Trump and Biden. These are very damaging allegations. The continued negativity and doubt about the Lake County election process may drive voters away from the polls, thinking, why should they bother to vote since the system is rigged? The allegations without legitimate proof is unfair to the loyal, hardworking employees at the Lake County Board of Elections. And quite frankly, Lobbyists for Citizens will not be party to bearing false witness against anyone. For approximately the last 9 months, Lobbyists for Citizens has been working with other like-minded Lake County citizens trying to determine if we could find any election fraud issues in Lake County. Our group was so far out in front of the other Ohio groups that we were referred to as the tip of the spear. It was hoped that our group would be able to unlock the key of how election fraud happened in the state of Ohio. We were working with the Dr. Douglas Frank group and statisticians in the state of Ohio to analyze the voter database information we received from Mr. Ross McDonald, the Lake County Board of Elections Director, and the Ohio Secretary of State online voter database. We would like to personally thank Mr. McDonald and his assistant, Mr. Tom Seymour, for their unfailing patience and help in answering our seemingly unending questions, giving access to their public database, and basically doing everything that we asked them to better understand their policies and procedures relating to election integrity. We used the following methods to try to find out the phantom voters that everyone has heard about if they have listened to Mr. Mike Lindell and Dr. Frank. Robocalls, postcards, knocking on doors, Google Earth software, and a great deal of data analysis. We have spent an enormous amount of time trying to find those phantom voters. However, we did not find a single phantom voter. None, zero, nada. I objected to any further data analysis when Dr. Frank stated that he had proof of the election fraud in Lake County. I sat across the table from him at a Parma restaurant and said that I would not bear false witness, and he must show me the proof, and it cannot be statistics generated from comparing projected results from a 6-number variable polynomial versus actual results. We have waited for over 2 months, and my patience has worn out. We can conjecture why no proof has been offered, but it would be strictly speculation on our part. The fact remains no proof has been offered. We are not demeaning Dr. Frank or Mr. Lindell's efforts in any way. They are patriots and may ultimately provide the proof of election fraud in other states. However, we are concerned about the perception that the Lake County citizens may have about Lake County's election integrity. We therefore would like to tell the Lake County Commissioners and the citizens of Lake County that we found no voter fraud or election fraud issues in the last election. As citizens of this great nation, it is imperative that we continue to perform our civic duty by voting in all elections. A lot of great patriots have died or were injured mentally and physically in foreign wars to protect your right to vote. Pardon me?
Quite all right. So would you like me to finish reading it for you?
No.
Thank you, sir.
Please never take that right for granted. And be sure you pass it along to future generations. We also have no doubt that the dedicated employees of the Lake County Board of Elections will ensure that we continue to have free, fair, and honest elections in Lake County. They deserve our support and our thanks for a job well done. Thank you.
Mr. Massey, thank you for your efforts, and we appreciate your patience and your passion. You make an excellent point. A number of people have lost their lives given their full measure. And that seems to be something that's getting lost in the mix these days. And I thank you for probably your smallest paragraph, but the one that speaks very loudly. We therefore would like to tell the Lake County Commissioners and the citizens of Lake County that we found no voter or election fraud issues in the last election. And to follow that up with all that was done and all that has been given in order to guarantee that, I think that was commendable, sir. Thank you. Commissioner Young, Commissioner Pletchik, anything you want to add?
I just want to say that the right to vote is fundamental to everything this country stands for. Free and fair elections are obviously necessary to make that right meaningful. But we shouldn't take it for granted. And the fact lobbyists for citizens took this time, this energy, contacted people from all over the country in order to make an informed decision, did local research in depth to make this decision of support for our elections process is meaningful and it's valued. We appreciate it. The fact you took that time doesn't indicate a lack of trust. To me, it indicates loyalty and a desire to support the system of government that's developed here over the last 200 years and before through various moves in history. But thank you. Thank you for that hard work and your willingness to come forward and and speak the truth. Thank you.
Commissioner Pleshnik, anything, sir?
Mr. President, I would just say that on a practical basis, where the Lake County Commissioners have worked with our Board of Elections to ensure that confidence remains strong in Lake County elections, was our move to immediately adopt the recommendation by Chairman Fellows and his board to have new voting machines in Lake County that are made in America, in no way ever connected to the internet, and based on a paper ballot, giving everyone confidence that our elections are now and always will be run with integrity and honesty. We don't, on a day-to-day basis, oversee the board. State law provides for a special appointment process for the Board of Elections to ensure bipartisan overview of those elections. But in this way, we did partner with our Board of Elections, and I'm grateful that the director and deputy director who are here with us today are working so hard to inform the public about these new voting systems that really are, when I use the word new, I only mean that they are, in fact, newly purchased, but in many ways are almost Stone Age technology. Printing a paper ballot and putting them in a lockbox, giving us an absolutely secure record to demonstrate that there are no irregularities in elections held in Lake County. So I don't pretend that one county or one board of commissioners can restore confidence in elections for the entire country. We certainly cannot. But we've done our part here in Lake County, and as a commission, I'm proud that we immediately adopted the recommendation of our Board of Elections so that we could implement these new voting machines as soon as possible, give the public a chance to educate themselves, use them. They're available in our Board of Elections right now because of that work. So I want to thank the board, and in particular, I want to thank former State Representative Ron Young for working so hard to get millions of dollars in state funding so that these machines were possible here and now.
Very good. All right, Mr. Lima.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Lima, 7774 Litchfield Drive in Mentor. I just want to reinforce Mr. Massey's comments that he made. I think it is so important that confidence in our election process and the results that we get thereof are enhanced by all of our efforts to make that happen. And just as an additional piece of information, out of 5.9 million votes that were cast in Ohio in the 2020 election, Secretary LaRose referred 13 voters and votes for consideration and prosecution. Now that's 0.0000002%. So there very well may be voter fraud, but it is so rare that I think those data certainly would help us all to feel confident in the process. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Mr. Music. Oh, I'm sorry. Sure. Yeah, Mr. Music.
John Music, 45 Coventry Drive. I also would like to thank our Board of Elections for doing such an excellent job of doing what they do. May it be this election, the next election, or whatever, I want to thank you. And like I've said before, you know, we have SMEs, you know, and I've talked about it, and I thought, okay, I had the opportunity for years to work at the Board of Elections. My last job there was getting the machine.
Hold on, SMEs, you're using a
Subject
word.
matter expert.
There you go.
Okay, and like I said, even when I talked about the jail, I said, you can learn more by working within than you can from looking outside in. And, you know, I honestly can say that the Lake County Board of Elections does an excellent job. And I want to commend both these individuals for doing that and all the people that work down at the Board of Elections. Thank you for a job well done, because we never, ever, ever want to lose honest and fair elections, ever. And one other thing I wanted to thank was also our sheriff. You know, as you know, I've talked about, I do not know of one more important thing than to have law enforcement, the safety of the people of this county. And I want to thank him and his department for doing what they do. And I want to thank the commissioners for trying to find a help. But, you know, in my opinion, it's still the majority of the time the amount of money falls back on the municipality, in my opinion. So the thing about it is, it's like, there is nothing more important than the safety. If someone's breaking into your house, just like the other day I've talked about traffic stops, you know. The other day, it wasn't in this state, an individual was caught with 300 ballots in his car, drugs, and a gun. And it was on a traffic stop, okay? This is one. It's like here in Portage County, somebody was stopped on 76, an individual from Texas. Well, I think it was like 45 pounds of drugs or something, plus all kinds of money. An individual was from Texas, if I remember correctly. And the thing about it is, unless we have the people on the streets to watch all and everything that goes on, that's the best way to protect the citizens of this county, in this state, and in this country. So I just want to commend all law enforcement, and thank them for what they do, because every day they put their lives on the line. Thank you.
Indeed. Well said, sir. Thank you. Ross, Dante.
Well, good morning, Commissioners. Ross McDonald, 36533 Ridge Road, Willoughby. Dante.
Dante Lewis, 37455 Grove Avenue, Willoughby.
And as many have heard so far today, we serve as Director and Deputy Director of the Lake County Board of Elections. So first, I'd like to thank Mr. Massey for his support. So Brian, thank you for your support. I want to confirm that Mr. Massey said when he started his research that he would never bear false witness, and today he followed through with that promise, and for that we thank him. We also thank the others that have risen in support of us. Mr. Music and Mr. Lima, thank you for your support. I want to echo what Mr. Music said about the best way to learn about the election process is to join us as either a seasonal worker, to join us as a precinct election official on election day, even perhaps join us as a rover after you've worked for quite a couple elections. We have a more of a specialized position called a rover who helps troubleshoot issues that may or may not occur on election day. So our priority at the Board of Elections is election integrity. Underneath that umbrella of election integrity are things like fairness, things like ensuring law and order, that only eligible citizens can vote. And so we go through painstaking procedures to make sure that we uphold that concept of election integrity every day. We have a group of individuals that literally are in the trenches making that happen. Dante and I are doing some things hands-on, but it's really the staff downstairs who are working right now that are making this thing work. It's the folks that work on election day. Close to 1,000 of Lake County citizens are on election day working at the 51 polling locations we have. So I want to really thank them today. I think voter fraud is something that, as Mr. Lima pointed out, it does occur, but it is very, 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 very rare in the state of Ohio. That's been confirmed by our Secretary of State, and in fact, that's been confirmed by several Secretaries of State. I've been in elections for 10 years, and we had Mr. Husted, Secretary Husted at the time, Lieutenant Governor Husted, also issued reports about voter fraud, and they followed that same very small percentile in terms of actual instances of voter fraud. What I believe we need to do a better job of as election officials is educating the public on the process, educating the public on about the difference of what an unofficial result is versus a certified result. We certify the results after Election Day so as to allow time for absentee ballots to come in from our military members who are sending their ballots back from various locations across this globe. And so those are predominantly the results we see come in with the certified result that would possibly see the result go up or change. And a lot of those ballots are, again, coming from military members. So we need to do a better job of educating the public on our processes. Right now, we do have our new voting equipment up and running for early voting. We would love to thank the commissioners once again for supporting this new equipment. Our voters, we've had about 100 voters vote early so far in the 2 full days of early voting. And we've heard great feedback, very positive feedback. They feel that the system is familiar enough with our old gear that it's not too hard to learn how to use the new system. But they appreciate that paper ballot, that tangible document that they can confirm who they've selected or the choices they've made on a tax levy or a charter amendment. With me today is my new partner at the Board of Elections, Deputy Director Lewis. I'll turn it over to him if you'd like to make a couple comments.
If I could just make a brief statement. Thank you, Ross. I just want to say that the policies, procedures, and safeguards in the state of Ohio are there to ensure voter confidence on all levels. And we are fortunate enough, enough to have I feel the greatest staff in 88 counties in Ohio. And I want to thank Mr. Massey for recognizing that.
So again, thank you to those who have risen in support of our processes. I speak to the public in saying that if anybody would like to come in for additional demonstrations on the new gear, if they have questions about our procedures, we feel that we are if not one of the most transparent organizations in Lake County. Not everything we do is done in the light of day. There is no magic to our process. It's hard work. It's teamwork, and it's bipartisanship. And with that, I would be happy to take any questions.
Commissioner Young, Commissioner Plechnik? I'll just jump in and say thank you. We truly appreciate all the efforts you do, your openness, your candor. Much appreciated through this entire process. It is of tremendous value. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having thick skin, by the way. This
You're
has
welcome.
not been easy for you, I'm sure.
Well, I guess when you're a public official, you have to have thick skin to survive.
Commissioner Young, I believe you have something to add?
Yeah, I just want to remind you, not that you need reminding, but just to announce sort of to the world, if you will, that a lot of people don't realize how important your job is. As Brian mentioned in his speech, a lot of people died for the right that you're down there protecting.
I
So
couldn't agree
important.
with you more.
So
It's,
important.
we are the conduit in making that promise happen. The promise that was defended by our military members who, some really did give it all to protect that process. So we are the conduit in delivering on that promise. And so it's not missed on us at all, Commissioner Young.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Truly
Thank you.
appreciate your time.
One last plug.
Oh, indeed, yes.
Early voting is available to all registered Lake Countyans right now. We're open till 5 p.m. tonight. We'll be open again 8 a.m. to 5. We have our hours listed on our website, lakecountyohio.gov/BOE. If you'd like to sign up to be a poll worker, call 440-350-2700 and say, I'd like to be a poll worker. Thank you.
Maybe you should get with Corey on those 2 to 3 minute videos. You got just the right voice. You know that. The Ohio Means Jobs. Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed.
We'll talk about that during the midterms, maybe.
You know what? Jobs, poll workers. What do you think? Partner?
I love it. I love it, and I love the concept of 10 people working together. If they're trying to fundraise, 10 people say, "I'm going to donate that check to this organization." That's a $1,500 windfall for one day's service. So we like to promote that concept too.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good, very good. All right, anything else in the second public comment portion to come before this board? None being seen? Okay, with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. This meeting stands adjourned.